Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Madden Monday, about a potential reunion between Juju Smith-Schuster and the Steelers, expectations would be too high. The Pittsburgh Steelers still have a need at wide receiver. Former Steeler Juju Smith-Schuster might be looking for a job sometime soon. Could a reunion be possible in Pittsburgh? From a content standpoint, Mark Madden of TribLive and 105.9 The X is completely on board. God, I hope so, Madden exclaimed during this week's Madden Monday podcast. Smith-Schuster doesn't seem to be the TikToking, logo-dancing headline maker he once was. Quite frankly, he doesn't appear to be the receiver he once was either. Last year in New England, Smith-Schuster totaled a meager 29 catches for 260 yards and 1 touchdown. He only played in 11 games, starting 7. Some of that was health. Smith-Schuster started 2023 spring workouts with a bulky knee, then dealt with a concussion and an ankle injury. He was also stuck in the Patriots' putrid offense. Now the Pats have tried to bulk up the receiver room by drafting Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. They also added KJ Osborne to a depth chart that also includes Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, Tyquan Thornton and Kayshon Boutte. So, Smith-Schuster could be forced out. Should that happen, and if the Steelers were to pick him up, Madden sees plenty of room for entertainment. The fun part would be that fans here would expect him to be the Juju he was when he left, and he is not. He's too ravaged by injury. He's just pretty much done, Madden continued. Honestly, the Juju that left wasn't even the Juju that Steelers fans fell in love with during his first 2 years in Pittsburgh. Over his final 3 years in black and gold, Smith-Schuster missed 15 games and totaled 1,512 yards. He posted 2,343 over his first 2 years alone. He always was destined to have a short career, Madden said of the 27-year-old from USC. If they brought him back, the expectations would be too high. At this point, acquiring Smith-Schuster would just be adding one more of the same type of player to a crowded but unimpressive WR room in Pittsburgh. Smith-Schuster would merely be another number 3 or 4 type of receiver, along with the likes of Van Jefferson, Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin III, Quez Watkins, Marquez Callaway and Denzel Mims. Although, what Madden theorized is that the Steelers may think Smith-Schuster still has enough in the tank to be the team's third receiver and rookie Roman Wilson can begin his career as the number 2. What they need is a real number 2. And they are just going to keep throwing crap at the wall until they think they have one, and that might apply even when they don't, Madden added. Also, in the podcast, Madden and I discuss the Pirates' problems in Toronto, Brian Rust's comments about the New York Rangers, the decision to include Negro League statistics into the Major League Baseball record books, and the WNBA's rough treatment of Caitlin Clark. Listen, this week's Madden Monday podcast courtesy of Altered Genius Brewing and the Barber School of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers plotting to use Justin Fields as a goal line weapon. The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't trade for Justin Fields to use him as their starting quarterback during the 2024-25 season. That job belongs to Russell Wilson. But just because the Steelers don't plan on penciling in Fields' name into their starting lineup, it doesn't mean that Pittsburgh's offensive coordinator Arthur Smith doesn't have other plans to use his newest X-factor. While Fields hasn't proven consistently capable of leading a high-powered scoring attack as a quarterback through the air, he has been a dangerous runner. Combine the two skill sets, and with a little more development, the Steelers could have a weapon on their hands. Fields has just 1 year left on his contract, so the Steelers plan on getting as much production as they can out of the former first-round pick this season. One way they could get the 25-year-old involved is in the red zone and in goal line scoring opportunities. I've talked to multiple teams now who expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to get a little weird at the goal line with Justin Fields, maybe have a package or two for him ready to go where he can be a runner or a thrower out of the shotgun. Remember, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, when he was with the Tennessee Titans, used Derrick Henry in that way as a runner and thrower out of the shotgun. So, Fields, with his quarterback background, can certainly handle that. There's a pretty sizable difference between Derrick Henry and Justin Fields, roughly 20 pounds, to be specific, but both are electric athletes. Fields has a bit more acceleration and top speed, but Henry has the brute force and sheer strength to push a pile. Still, with Fields' juice, he should be an effective weapon in Pittsburgh too. Steelers predicted to land one of 49ers star wide receivers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been in the wide receiver market since the trade that sent former Steelers wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, to the Carolina Panthers on March 9. For the last few months, the Steelers have been reportedly interested in a variety of wide receivers around the NFL. One group they haven't taken their eyes off is the San Francisco 49ers wideouts. Leading up to the NFL draft this past April, Pittsburgh was one of a few teams interested in 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. Aiyuk has been seeking a new multi-year contract to be one of the NFL's highest-paid wideouts, who reportedly is seeking an average well over $25 million, writes Mike Silver, of the San Francisco Chronicle. With contract talks not progressing, prior to the draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers were in talks to acquire Aiyuk's services. According to former NFL general manager Michael Lombardi, per Steelers Depot, Steelers general manager Omar Khan tried to swing a deal for either of the 49ers wide receivers Brandon Aiyuk or Deebo Samuel on draft day. They want both their players on the team unless they get a really good offer, Lombardi said, per Steelers Depot. Though it's merely speculation, it's not far-fetched to believe there's truth to that rumor. Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette stays confident in a trade getting done between the Steelers and 49ers before September. Fittipaldo said Friday on local Pittsburgh radio show 93.7 The Fan, "I do think, yes, they will have a number 2 receiver on their roster in September who is not currently on the roster now," according to Steelers Depot. As he went further, he thought it would be for Aiyuk but also mentioned another name, Deebo Samuel. He went on to say, "I think Aiyuk or Samuel. Given what the 49ers have done, drafting Ricky Pearsall in the first round, signing Jauan Jennings. I think there's another shoe to drop out there in San Francisco. They have too many good receivers, and they're not going to be able to pay all of them." Later in the segment, Fittipaldo didn't want to exclude other options and named Denver receiver Courtland Sutton as an option still on the table as he's unhappy with his current contract. "There's going to be plenty of options for the Steelers," he said. "We've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers wait out the trade market before. In fact, we saw it this year when they acquired former Bears quarterback Justin Fields for a conditional 6th-round pick. It does make sense if the 49ers would move off either Samuel or Aiyuk given contract demands and their investment in 2024 first-round pick Ricky Pearsall along with the contract extension of Jauan Jennings. At the same time, they're coming off a Super Bowl appearance and might want to get all they can out of their offense this year. There is some evidence Pittsburgh is still holding out hope on a deal for a receiver as they restructured OLB Alex Highsmith's contract this offseason to create more cap room. Even Steelers GM Omar Khan acknowledged if an opportunity presents itself, it gives them flexibility to make a move. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.